Two men, both seriously ill, occupied the same hospital room. One man was allowed to sit up in his bed for an hour each afternoon to help drain the fluid from his lungs. His bed was next to the room's only window. The other man had to spend all of his time flat on his back. The men talked for hours on end. They spoke of their wives, their families, their homes, their jobs, their involvement in the military, where they had been on their vacations. And every afternoon when the man in the bed by the window could sit up, he would pass the time by describing to his roommate all of the things that he could see outside of that window. The man in the other bed began to live for those 1 hour periods, where his world would be broadened and enlivened by all the activity and color of the world outside. The man by the window said that the window overlooked a park with a lovely lake. Ducks and swans played on the water while children sailed their model boats. Young lovers walked arm in arm amidst flowers of every color of the rainbow. Grand old trees graced the landscape, and a fine view of the city's skyline could be seen in the distance. As the man by the window described all of this in exquisite detail, the man on the other side of the room would close his eyes and imagine those picturesque scenes. One warm afternoon, the man by the window described a parade passing by. And although the other man couldn't hear the band, he could see it in his mind's eye as the gentleman by the window portrayed it with descriptive words. Days and weeks passed, and then one morning the day nurse arrived to bring water for their baths, only to find the lifeless body of the man by the window who had died peacefully in his sleep. She was saddened and called the hospital attendants to come and take the body away. As soon as it seemed appropriate, the other man asked if he could be moved next to the window. The nurse was happy to make the switch, and after making sure that he was comfortable, she left him alone. Slowly, painfully, he propped himself up on one elbow to take his first look at the world outside. Finally, he would have the joy of seeing it for himself. He strained to slowly turn to look out the window beside his bed. And what he saw was a blank wall. Puzzled, he asked the nurse what could possibly have compelled his deceased roommate to have described such wonderful things outside of that window. The nurse said she didn't know and explained that the man was blind and could not even have seen the wall. After a pause, she added, "Perhaps he just wanted to make you feel better." So, how do you see the world that's outside of your window? I'm Larry Johnson. Stay well.